Deep inside the laundry room, behind the humming dryer and under a pile of fresh-smelling towels, lived a very small detective named Inspector Paws. Now, Inspector Paws was actually a tabby cat, but he took his job very seriously. For weeks, the humans in the house had been complaining. "Where is the blue striped sock? I've lost my favorite fuzzy pink one." Inspector Paws knew it wasn't the dryer monster the humans joked about. He knew it was something much more interesting. Armed with nothing but his whiskers and a very wiggly tail, the inspector began his investigation. He found a trail of tiny, neon green fuzz leading toward the back of the washing machine. Suddenly, he heard a sound: giggle, squeak, slide. He squeezed his fluffy body into the narrow gap behind the machines. There, he didn't find a monster. He found a slide. It was a long, twisty slide made of tangled ribbons and old shoelaces, disappearing into a hole in the floorboards. Inspector Paws took a deep breath, tucked in his paws, and whooshed down the slide. He landed softly on a giant pile of mismatched gym socks. He gasped. He had found the sock underground. The room was lit by glowing fireflies in glass jars. Hundreds of missing socks were everywhere, but they weren't just sitting there. 2 Argyle socks were using a ruler as a seesaw. A pair of yellow hiking socks were being used as sleeping bags by a family of field mice. The missing blue striped sock was currently a sail for a paper boat floating in a puddle of spilled soapy water. In the center of the room sat a very old, very grumpy-looking toad wearing a crown made of silver paper clips. He was sitting on a throne made of, you guessed, it's the fuzzy pink sock. "Halt," the toad croaked, "who enters the kingdom of the left behinds?" "I am Inspector Paws," the cat said, trying to look very tall. "The humans are cold. Their toes are chilly. I've come to bring the socks back." The toad looked sad. "But we need these. The socks make the best blankets for the mice and the best trampolines for the crickets. Without the socks, our kingdom is just a cold, dusty basement." Inspector Paws realized he couldn't just take the socks back. The forest creatures under the house needed them. But he also knew the humans were tired of wearing one polka dot sock and one plain white one. "I have an idea," Paws purred. He led the toad and the mice back up the slide. He showed them the discard pile in the garage box of old clothes the humans were going to throw away. It was full of sweaters with holes, t-shirts that were too small, and plenty of blankets. "Take these," Paws suggested. "They are much warmer than socks, and the humans don't need them anymore." The mice and the toad were delighted. They spent the whole night swapping the stolen socks for the warm old sweaters. The next morning, the humans walked into the laundry room and gasped. There, lined up in a perfect row in front of the dryer, were all the missing socks. The blue stripes, the fuzzy pink ones, and even the gym socks. "It's a miracle," the humans cried. Inspector Paws sat on top of the dryer, licking a paw and looking very proud. He still knew where the secret slide was, and every now and then, if a sock went missing, he'd go down and join the mice for a game of sock tag. But from that day on, most of the socks stayed exactly where they belonged, in pairs.